all, and welcome to the first official webisode of Diet Game Theory. Now, a few questions or statements might have entered your mind, like, for instance, and I feel it's an obvious comment that this video might get, "You're just ripping off MatPat!" Well, to be fair, those who see this are likely to be a fan of the original Game Theorist channel, and while yes, I did rip the intro and make a few alterations, which by the way, took me a very long time, so get off my back! These theories are 100% original, and or diet theories Matt never got around to, which leads me to today's topic, and one that shines brightest. Cringy pun one down. But anyways, today we're talking about a character overlooked in the Dark Souls franchise, the daughter of the Crystal Kriemhild. Now, a very important question that you may ask is, well, what is she in the main plot? Well, on the surface, that's the kicker. Nothing. She's merely an NPC stopping you from reaching Prince Lothric. This means that she is on the side of Lion Knight Albert and Blackhand Kamui in letting the prince stay and letting the Age of Dark come to pass. So if you haven't seen the original Theorist video on Dark Souls, you may be asking, well, what is the Age of Dark? Well, the Age of Dark is what happens when the first flame finally goes out. To quote Darkstalker Kaith, he says, the chosen undead is destined to bring about the Age of Dark, being the descendant of the furtive pygmy and ushering in the Age of Dark. They will become the Dark Lord. And no, not like the Darth Vader kind. Okay, so now you have to ask yourself, well, what do these three people have to benefit from the Age of Dark? Well, it is prophesied that the Age of Dark is also the age of humanity, and represents when mankind will rise to rule the world. So that begs a huge question for our character. Why do we want to link the flame instead of heralding in the age of humanity? Well, from a purely personal standpoint, since, I am technically a theorist and whatnot, self-appointed, this is just what's prophesized, not what will certainly be. So why risk the chance that the prophecy is wrong and just keep the flame going? And that, I believe, was Gwyn's true fear. The fear of uncertainty. Also, I don't know about you, but becoming human kindling doesn't sound too fun to me. Burning forever? Yeah, no thanks. So, what does all this have to do with the daughter of the Crystal Kriemhild? Well, that's the million-soul question. She comes from out of nowhere to meet and challenge you with Albert and Kamui. However, if you go to the untended graves, she will invade you where the Cemetery of Ash bonfire would have been. Other than that, there's nothing. No dialogue, no story, nothing. And for a minute, I thought that this theory had fallen apart right in front of me. But then I noticed it. There's one more thing we haven't recognized. Her clothes. Her attire. Do they look familiar? Well, they should, seeing as how every time you level up, you look at a woman wearing the exact same outfit. That's right! She's wearing the Firekeeper set. But why? As far as we know, there's only one Firekeeper. So, was she a Firekeeper? Well, actually, it's not very likely. The evidence for this is in the small details. And I mean really small. Look at the Firekeeper and now the daughter. There are two things different about them. Not counting the hair. I feel that's too obvious. Number one, she doesn't wear the headpiece, which is a requirement for Firekeepers, as their eyes are removed in Dark Souls 3. And her hands lack the burn marks, more than likely due to tending the flame. So if she's not a Firekeeper, then what is she? Well, keeping in mind that this is a theory, I believe that the daughter was meant to be a Firekeeper, but upon hearing that she would be stripped of sight and forced to burn herself for an age she didn't fully understand, she fled before finishing her initiation into becoming a Firekeeper. So, the answer to who is the daughter of the Crystal Kriemhild is that she was meant to become a Firekeeper. But she's a sorceress. Can Firekeepers become sorceresses? Well, I'm glad you asked, viewer. Well, in order to understand that, all you really need to do is look at her weapon, and the name, really. She holds the Crystal Sage's staff, after being taught by the same Crystal Sages that you fight on the Road of Sacrifices, and then later in the Grand Archives, right before you fight the trio on top. Coincidence? I think not. We know she has something to do with them in her name, daughter of the Crystal Kriemhild, meaning that the Crystal Sages taught her so well that they felt a kinship with her, claiming her as an adoptive daughter. And that is why the second Crystal Sage is defending her in the minute you enter the Grand Archives. And if you need any evidence of this, let's just look at the item's description of the weapon, the Crystal Sage's staff. Crystal catalyst presented as a gift from the Crystal Sages to their favorite pupil, Kriemhild. Drop mic. And thus, in not believing in tending the flame and being taught sorceries by the Crystal Sages, she does not believe in the Age of Fire and wants the Age of Dark to come to fruition so that the Age of Humanity will commence. But hey, that's just a theory. A diet theory! Thanks for watching. And one more thing, if you really have any grievances about me ripping the opening from the actual Game Theorist channel, send a message to MatPat. If he really has a problem with it, I will take it down immediately and edit it to where I can actually upload it without there being any problem. But if you don't find a problem with it, great, awesome, because it took me like 6 hours to edit that color change. Like, it shouldn't take that long, but it did, and it's ridiculous. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I want to ask you all a question, because the next theory will be completely based upon what you guys want to hear. So I have 3 different theories. The Gerudo clone theory from The Legend of Zelda, Andre the Blacksmith from the Dark Souls theory being a possible god, or the fact that Fallout and Skyrim may very well exist in the same timeline. But whatever I choose will be completely dependent upon what you guys want to hear. So until then,